Hi guys, today's video is going to be looking at a day one gapper that popped up recently. So a low flow stock that's gapping up on high volume. I have decided to try and focus more on first green day bounces. So when a stock has a really strong run up, pulls back hard and then look to play them for a bounce, rather than looking at these day one gappers, just because as a beginner, it's just too much for me to look at. However, having said that, the market's been quiet recently and there wasn't much going on my watch list for first green day bounce setups. So I had time to look at the pre-market gappers, and I saw a trade that I thought could be a nice setup, and it's quite a nice simple one to analyse. So let's get into the chart. Okay, so the ticker was ULY. And it came up on my scan on the 27th of February 2025. It was gapping up on high volume and it was a low flow stock, so under 10 million float. Quickly checked why it was gapping up, and it had news that day. Can't remember exactly what the news was, some kind of cash injection or something, but always good to have the news to back up why these things are moving. So I did have a quick look at the pre-market data and can see that, actually, if we go over here to the daily chart first, it closed the previous day at about 42 cents, and then it's gone up after hours, and then pre-market it had spiked up to almost a dollar, so 99 cents there. So kind of a very key area there for that to have resistance off. So it's had a big move, and then what I could see on the pre-market 1 minute chart is it was holding support here at around about 71 cents. Hadn't dipped any lower than that. It pushed off it nicely. So yeah, kind of had a nice cycle going on here. I went back to the daily chart on the right over here and looked for the most recent high volume day, which was here, high volume, and could see as well that the lowest it went on that day very significantly was almost 70 cents. So I put a line there, and as we can see on the 1 minute chart, it's pretty much where it's now holding support pre-market. So for me, what I'm seeing at the moment is on these day one moves where there is support pre-market down here, and you can cross-reference that with a support on a previous high volume day, that really adds to my conviction that this is a good risk level. So yeah, looking at that, going into the market open. Now I'm just paper trading at the moment. So for me, I had looked at it here. I had even though it was spiking up here pre-market, I had a feeling that this could very well pull back to this level, because I do see it happen quite a bit, and if it doesn't, then it doesn't. So I was hoping to get in. I put my order in at a price of 0.7256 to be exact, and I put my order in at 237, so around about this time here. Yeah, unfortunately, even though it did go down to 0.7131 and my order was in at 0.7256, for some reason it didn't fill me. I didn't get executed, so unfortunately I wasn't in the trade. But I do still think it's a good one to analyse as if I was in the trade. I had put my order in, and then as you can see, it pushes off nicely off there, so very close to where my risk level is. And then within the space of less than 10 minutes, it goes right back up to 95 cents. So I'd put my profit targets here, 184, just kind of crossing over these areas of sort of resistance, more areas of resistance here, and then just where it sort of topped out pre-market. So very cool to see that it hit every area that I would intend to take my profits on. And also just, yeah, in the space of 10 minutes, that would have been a 30% gain, which is very cool. Also very annoying that I didn't get executed. I know it's paper trade, but it would have been nice just to have achieved that, I guess. But what I am very pleased about is my risk level. My entry point was, you know, really at the bottom there. And also, once it did hit my final profit taking mark, it did pull all the way back down. And I had already made the decision that once it goes to there, the trade is very much done for me. So I didn't think about re-entering here at all, just because if I go back to the after hours, you can see that it's almost hit my final profit mark, let's say almost once, twice. Let's carry on. 3 times, 4 times, and then the 5th time was when I would have exited the trade. So for me, it's like, you know, it's hitting that almost $1 mark. It can't push past it. It's done it 5 times. The move is done. Basically, that was the time in and out. And also, the market's been pretty quiet at the moment. A lot of things spiking and then fading. So I was definitely taking that into consideration as well. So, yeah, really pleased with my patience not to try and re-enter. I say re-enter, I didn't even enter in the first place, but you know, if I had got in there, I wouldn't have been even looking to get back in. And also really good risk, really good profit taking marks, and really good entry point as well. So yeah, as I said, I'm not very experienced in these day one moves. It may not have even been a good trade to take, it just happened to work out, but based on, you know, I put my analysis with it, it seemed to have worked out, but I don't know if I do this 10 times over, if this is going to be a good setup or not, but on this occasion it was, and I'm just learning. So yeah, I thought it was quite a nice, simple one, not too technical, not too complicated. Yeah. And actually I was right, because after that initial spike where I would have exited the stock, it did just fade off for the rest of the day. So it was the right call not to re-enter. As I said, I'm not really focusing on day one gappers at the moment, but if I see an opportunity and have time to look at it, then I will give it a go. But I'm definitely lacking knowledge in how day one moves actually work, and I'll need to dive deeper into that later down the line when I have the time. What I will say is that taking trades, and not just for the sake of taking a trade, but where I think I've got a good thesis, actually taking those trades is helping to speed up my learning process by getting that real-time experience and learning to trade independently, just because otherwise I don't know what is a good trade, what's not a good trade, how market conditions can affect trading, and also trying to learn when not to trade. Yes, you absolutely do need to do the foundational work and learn the basics, and I did spend 3 to 4 months doing that and then just watching the market. But for me, it's now time to kind of get that real-time experience, start tracking my trades and learning how the market works. So I think that's about it for today, and I will catch you next week.